Hello, good day everyone. My name is Zydnee Avelino from Bataan Peninsula State University, Balanga Campus, one of the universities in the Philippines. Well, it is located in Balanga City in the province of Bataan. The best way to start the proper discussion is to introduce the author of the research paper, which is entitled Influence of Flexible Learning to the Study Habits Among Students. Specifically, social studies students at the Bataan Peninsula State University, Balanga campus. To start with, again, my name is Zydnee Avelino, one of the authors of this academic paper, with my fellow researchers named Jonaisa May Alonto, Fecharis Balaster, Anabela Pasamonte, Hazel Pino, and Jovely Chris Simon. So we are undergraduates at the university mentioned earlier. So for the background of the study, we all know that the pandemic caused us to struggle in many aspects. Okay, so one of these is the system of education, especially in the Philippines. Early in January 2020, scientists discovered a new infectious disease brought a novel coronavirus, or also known as COVID-19. Since then, the COVID-19 pandemic has significantly disrupted educational institutions across the world. Okay, so a large portion of the curriculum has been converted from a face-to-face setup to an online format, which has eliminated all in-person opportunities for formal and informal learning due to the implemented health protocols and restrictions, specifically the school and university closures. With the unplanned, okay, unexpected, and sudden shift in the usual teaching and learning experiences, little is known about the effects it brought to students' usual practice or way of learning. So the presented dilemma served as a driving force for the researchers to conduct a study about the influence of flexible learning on the study habits of the students. The study aimed to determine the significant relationship between flexible learning modality and the study habits of the students. For the objectives of the study, number one, determine the indicators where social studies students least perform. Number two, development of a flexible learning enhancement plan. And number three, for the last, encourage the instructors of the College of Education to implement the flexible learning enhancement plan made by the researchers. So for the conceptual framework of the study was anchored with the influence of flexible learning to the study habits of the students. So for the flexible learning, it is an instructional approach that gives students freedom in terms of what, when, how, and where they learn. Its environment takes into account how learning is used and how students are grouped for learning. It refers to the opportunity to choose one's own mode of learning, environment, and timetable. So the flexibility in the learning process for students might include the choice of learning activities, assessment tasks, and learning materials. So additionally, it may involve decisions for the teacher regarding how they utilize their time, how they communicate with students, and how they interact with the educational setting. That's why under flexible learning, we have the sub-variables such as synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. So for the study habits, so study habits are typically referred to be a student's typical behavior in order to properly study and learn. Okay, so study habits enable students in understanding their coursework and in creating a comfortable and engaging learning environment. Therefore, it is very important for students to develop strong study habits since they will improve their skills. Number two is knowledge in teaching and learning process. That's why under study habits, we have the sub-variables such as time management, class engagement, collaboration, and metacognition. So for the research method, the researchers employed descriptive correlation research as a method to provide a static picture of circumstances and determine the relationship between variables. So it was designed in a manner that revealed the perception of a target audience concerning the topic. The survey research involved acquiring information about the influence of flexible learning and study habit, perhaps about their perceptions or attitude or previous experiences by providing a questionnaire and tabulating their answers. So basically, that process determined the influence of flexible learning to the study habits among social studies students at Bataan Peninsula State University, Balanga campus. The survey questionnaire had two parts. Okay, the first one is a research questionnaire for synchronous and asynchronous. And the second part was time management, class engagement, collaboration, and metacognition. So every part of the questionnaire consists of 5 questions. So I will also present to you the result of the study, especially the most important numeric data with significant result only. So in part 1, question number 1, there are printed and online resources utilized to facilitate online discussion. So for part 2, I prevent interruptions from distracting me when doing schoolwork. Next one, I actively engage in class discussion, either online and or offline, by raising and responding to questions. For the last, most important numeric data with significant result, I identify possible issues and corresponding measures to fix them. So these questions were included as a part of flexible learning enhancement plan as a research output for further enhancement of the result because of the determined result. Okay, so though the descriptive equivalent should agree on these particular indicators, the researchers figure out that there is a need to enhance these results through a flexible learning enhancement plan proposed by the researchers. So for our research output, with the researchers developed a flexible learning enhancement plan that was based on the least performed indicators by the social studies students in the Bataan Peninsula State University Balanga campus. So in developing the 4 enhancement plan, we put the main activity, which is here, okay, which is the web-based, and the description of the activity. We also put the domains, which is the least performed indicators of the social studies students. We also have the objectives, which contain of 3 domains of learning, which is the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. And under of the main activity, we have the specific activity. Okay, well, I can send you the paper to read it comprehensively. However, I will also discuss to you the 4 enhancement plan. Okay, so for the flexible learning enhancement plan number 1, so the table shows the enhancement plan for the students' synchronous learning. Okay, the objective of the cognitive domain is to formulate and articulate, okay, ideas using various digitized and web-based tools. So among the activities are virtual Pictionary, virtual trivia, and web searches. Okay, so when the necessary arises, both students and teachers will be using video conference software, an online Pictionary game, a list, okay, of trivia questions and answers, okay, and web-based links. So poor internet connectivity and students' lack of analytical abilities are potential concern, but they can be prevented by making offline activities available. So using reinforcement techniques and offering technical support. So additionally, students can learn about various web-based or digitized tools by engaging in these kind of activities. So these activities are supported with pieces of literature. Okay, so for the flexible learning enhancement plan number 2, okay, it shows the plan for the time management of the students. The main activity was weekly school work plan. Okay, so it gives students a chance to improve their analytical abilities, time management skills, and learning management skills. Such activities could encourage student communication by encouraging the exchange of information and criticism. A weekly school work plan will enable learners to monitor their learning progress and assure their attainment of the learning targets. So for the flexible learning enhancement plan P, okay, so it shows the plan for the class engagement of the students. Okay, the objectives in psychomotor domain is to participate actively in an open class discussion to increase engagement. So this activity uses the student's psychomotor. Okay, in addition, the activities are a think, pair, share, open forum, and brainstorming. These activities can open their mind to become more collaborative with others, and it will help them to build their psychomotor domain. Okay, for the last flexible learning enhancement plan 4, okay, this table shows that it is a plan for the metacognition of the students, in which the objectives of the cognitive domain is to foster, Okay, the metacognition by enhancing learning independence. So modular learning, self-talk, and metacognitive talk are some of the possible activities. So journals and other self-learning materials are then required for the year-round classes that both students and instructors will be doing. Okay, so burnout and limited learning independence are potential risks for these, but they can be prevented by using reinforcement, differentiating or progressing the learning activities offered, or gradually releasing responsibilities. Additionally, by engaging in these kind of activities, students can improve their metacognition. So as I mentioned earlier, I can send you the file or the research paper to read it comprehensively, especially the flexible learning enhancement plan. Okay, so for the conclusion of the study, based on the indicated findings, the following conclusions were drawn. Okay, number one, flexible learning influences student study habits. For number two, there were indicators such as synchronous learning, time management, class engagement, and metacognition that were least performed by social studies students at the Bataan Peninsula State University, Baraga campus. Number three, okay, for the last conclusion, the flexible learning enhancement plan proposed by the researchers might help, okay, both students and teachers in developing social studies students' study habit. Okay, so for the recommendation of the researchers, number one, the College of Education was encouraged to use or utilize the plan. Number two, instructors of the College of Education were encouraged to implement the flexible learning enhancement plan. Number three, should be incorporated on a day-to-day basis to improve social studies students of the College of Education study habits. Okay, for last recommendation, a similar study is recommended to create other effective plans that pave the way in improving student study habits that were applicable regardless of the learning modality being used and the major courses of the students. So for the impact of the students, number one, develop good study habits. Okay, number two, develop students' learning ability, increase students' learning performance, and lastly, is increase students' productivity. So the impact of the College of Education, number one, the Dean of the College of Education can help the students in developing good study habits by implementing the flexible learning enhancement plan. Number two, the instructors can guide students in developing good study habits. And lastly, the instructors are able to target those least performing indicators of the students. So here is the references of this study. Next one. Again, my name is Zydnee Avelino, taking Social Studies major in Bataan Peninsula State University, Balanga Campus, Philippines.